Hello everyone, it's March 26. Alright, minimal path sum. Given m by n grid, fill with non-negative numbers, find a path from top left to bottom right, which minimizes the sum of all numbers along its path. Only move either down or right at any point of time. Minimizes the sum of all numbers along its path. Maybe we can do... Oh, yeah, there's a single graph. Either this or this. So just given a graph, what is the minimum path? We can do... No, this, I think this can be solved by a DP. Right? If we want to save a minimum path here, because to reach here, we either go from this to the right or this down. That's the only two way. So now we need to know the minimum path to reach this one and this one. And to the minimum path to this one, we need to know this one and this one. The minimum of this, we need to know this one and this one. And this one, this one. So in this case, the minimum to reach, just will go diagonal, right? So we need to reach this is going to be... Actually, we don't need to diagonal, we're going to go like this. So minimum to reach this is 4. Alright, and it's 5. Yeah, let me get a pen and pencil. Alright, let's draw some stuff. So it's a 3 by 3. So we got 1, 4, 5. So next one is 2, right? And next one is 6. These are pre-filled. And then this, the minimum of the 2. So it would be 2. So 2 plus 5 would be 7. Minimum of this would be 5, would be 6. Minimum of these two will be 6, plus 2 will be 8. Minimum of these two will be 6, so it will be 7. Yeah, I do think a simple DP shall do. Yeah, just double check on the second one. 1, 3, and 6. This will be 5, so it'll be 3, will be 8. 6 will be 12. Yeah, I think this one is DP. Okay, I think I only need one. I might even do this. Accumulate. Right? We're going to do list, accumulate, grid, 0. At least 1, right? So that's the DP. Then we say, oh, let's get M and N first. Okay, then we say for I range 1 to M. Alright, and then we can say DP if for J, right, in range range what? M, no, N. J is equal to 0, dpj shall equal to dp plus equal to grid ij, right? Else dp not ij shall equal to minimum of dpj, which is the previous up. This is on to the left plus grid I. alone and return dp minus 1. Let's see if we can do this without going through. Okay. Let's do some test. For instance, right, we can test and test this. That's a good test. Okay, try this. Oh, I used Java last time. 997. I got 3 more days before we hit the magical number. $64. Okay, so this one's done. All right, let's try this one more time. So, the idea, like I said, this is good. Okay, I think this one works. We can tell if it's possible. And then, because both basket 1 and basket 2 has the same size, right? So we have the same number to swap on the left and the same number on the right. We need to swap. So what I want to do is we want to minimize the cost of each swap. So if I have a large value on one side, I would definitely want to swap with a smaller value on the other side. So this swap, there are values that we don't need to swap, and there are values that we need to swap. Okay, so with that in mind, right? With that in mind, we will find all the values that need to be swapped on basket 1, and all the values need to swap on basket 2, and the total number that need to move. Okay, so it could be a dictionary. We could say swap 1 and swap 2. Swap 1, the key will be the value you need to swap, and the value will be the number that need to get swapped. So we can do that, no problem. Just go through the counter 2 times. And then as we finish that, we know all the values need to swap from 1 to 2 and 2 to 1. Then we can try to pair them, right? Because then we can reduce the number of times we need to swap. So we want to pair. We actually need to want to find, say, on the left hand side, right? On the left hand side, say basket 1, we want to swap the biggest value in basket 1 with the smallest value in basket 2, that the one that need to swap. So the one swap basically will cost that much. Then we're gonna compare also the smallest value overall in basket 2. I mean, it shall be the smallest. Wait, hold on, let me think again. The smallest value. I shall make full use of the smallest value between 1 and 2, right? Smallest value. Okay. Now let's say we have the smallest value. Then we need to find the biggest value on the other side. And then we can swap. We say, okay, let's swap that. And we have a cost. Alright. And then we're going to ask, is this cost going to be more or less than swapping on the smallest total value? So we can do that. On the smallest value on the left and right, because we can swap on the left with the smallest on the right. And then we can swap it back, right? We can swap it back. So we can find the smallest, right? The smallest overall. And because everyone can swap with that. Well, we can do however many times. So we want to find the smallest overall, okay, wherever it is, and then on one side I say we're going to swap with that. Okay, we swap, and then on the other side I want to swap back. But what if we all swap on one side to the other? Well, in that case, I think we can still... I don't feel that's the right way. I feel I'm getting sucked in to some stuff. Let me give another thought. Right, so we have that many on the left and just swap to the right. So maybe it is dp. We have all right. All right, just fed the cat. Yeah, when you think about it, if I know which one to need to swap, right? And I know how many I need to swap. So the one on the left, they must swap to the right, right? And then because it's the minimum, right? So we always want to pair. So if we pair, we can swap these. But if we don't pair, then we use, let's say the smallest is very small. Then when you swap, it becomes imbalanced, but I can always swap back, right? I can always swap back. And the total number to swap is always the same. I'll have the same number on the left to go to the right, the same number on the right to go to the left. It's always be the same. Therefore, each one on the left, if I swap to the right, I can either choose one of the things I need to swap, right? Or I can choose one of the smallest one. Yeah, now if we choose one of the smallest one, then we have an imbalance. So then we need to swap back, right? So basically, we need to do that twice. So multiply by 2. So the cost of each swap, if we're using the smallest value in basket 1 or basket 2, doesn't really matter, is going to be twice that value. Otherwise, it's going to be the smaller of the swapped one. So if we have a list, right, on the left we need to swap this, on the right we need to swap this, okay? And then, yeah, we can start to pair. We find the smallest one on one side, and then we have the largest one on the other side, and we see how many we can do swap. And then we see exactly the smallest between the two. If the smallest between the two multiplied by 2 is smaller than that, then we use those to swap. And in fact, we'll use that to swap everything. Right? We'll swap everything. And every swap needs to be just multiplied by 2. But exactly. But in reality, the double of that will be, slightly bigger than the smallest to swap. So we have to use the smallest to swap to get the first. Basically just use those, right? So what we're gonna do, we can sort. I'll put the left and right together. Yeah, all the values that need to swap, okay? All the values that need to swap on the left and need to swap on the right. We put them all together, okay? I put them all together, we sorted it. And then from the smallest, right? And we compare to the smallest of bracket 1 and bracket 2, right? And then we simply just say, from bracket 1 and bracket 2, we simply just say, okay, if double of the smallest is larger than that, okay, then we'll use that, and we can do, 2, or well, however many, okay? We can do however many, and we can go from the right end, right? Swap however many of that. Oh, but we have a left and right issue. Right now we have a left and a right issue. So we have 2, okay, 2 list. Sorted 2 list. So we'll find the smaller of the 2, okay, and I'll find the smaller of the 2, and then we compare. If this is smaller, we say we'll do that many of this, when we get rid of that many of that. It's actually fine, we just get rid of that many of this. No, we want to get rid of that many of that. Okay, and then next one, compare it again, right? We compare it again, the head and the head. Which one's smaller? If this one's smaller, we try. And if it's smaller, then we get rid of that many of this, and we try to get rid of that many of that. But give this a shot. If it doesn't work, then it just doesn't work. This definitely is correct. So now we're just gonna go through a counter, and then we're gonna say, okay, what are we going to say is swap 1 and swap 2, this and this, right? And then for v in counter, okay, v in counter, these are all the ones that I want to see if, right, if I need, darn it, I need counter 1 and counter 2. I need counter 1 and counter 2, and this is just going to be counter 1 plus counter 2. Right, dot values. Ooh, might as well just do another one. We can say counter equals counter 1 plus counter 2. And then after this, if we say counter 1 v, right, is smaller than counter 2 v, then we say swap 2 dot append append what? V, the value, and counter 2v, right? Minus counter 1v divided by 2, right? That's the how many we need to move. If counter 1v is larger than counter 2v, then we say swap 1, right? Dot append. Same thing, but we swap this as counter 2, this will be counter 1. Okay. Once we're done, we're gonna say swap 1 dot sort, swap 2 dot sort. Okay. So both are sorted. And then we're gonna say the minimum. So the minimum v is gonna be minimum of counter. All right, that's the lowest value overall. Okay, so now I want two. So I want I1 and then I2. These are the two pointers. And we basically say these are the ones that need to move, right? Then eventually what we want to do is to get rid of, so while, let's say while I1 is smaller than len, swap 1, and I2 smaller than len, swap 2. If swap 1 I1 0 is smaller than swap 2 I2 0. Okay, so we find out this one is the smallest. Okay, so we get the smallest, and then what? Then we compare, right? Then we compare. We say if 2 times min v, right? If 2 times min v is the cost of the swap, right? To make this change. If that is smaller or equal to swap 1 I1 0. In that case, we can just we can just use min v for the remaining. Okay. If not, then we will use swap 1 I1 for all of its swaps. Okay. So for all of its swaps, so we're gonna have a rest, it's the cost. So all of its swaps is going to be how many? Swap 1 I1 1 times, right, times swap 1 I1 0. This is the total cost. So rest plus equal to this. And then we can say, well, swap 2 and if swap 2 is, if swap 2 minus 1 is the biggest one in swap 2, oh, it should be like here, right? The biggest one swap 2, 1. If the count is smaller, hold on, 2 swap equals this. Okay, this is the one I need to swap. Then I'll swap 2 and 2 swap. And this is if it's larger equal to, if it's larger than 2 swap, then swap 2 minus 1 1 minus equal to 2 swap, then break. Otherwise, if it's smaller or equal to, then we can say 2 swap minus equal to swap 2 minus 1 1 and swap 2 dot pop. Okay, then we go back. We'll do it again. So that's handling the swap 2, right? And then we need to see, well, it won't happen that swap 2 is all gone and swap 1 is not done. That is not going to happen because they'll always be the same, right? So we will just get rid of all of that, get rid of whatever it has, and we're going to say I1 will be plus equal, we'll move to the next one. Yeah, and then we keep going. And then else, then we'll do exactly the same thing here, but with I2. So we say if this is swap 2, so swap 2 is smaller. If this, I'm going to get out, rest plus, so the swap 1 so become swap 2, I2, so, right, we'll do all this swap, to swap is this, and then all these will be swap 1, and this will be I2 plus equal 1. So we keep going once we get out, okay? After we get out, that means either we finish the swaps, right? We're all done, no more to swap, or we have swap left. So what we need to do is check, right? If there's any swap left. Okay, so we say if swap is left, then the remaining should all be swapped with the minimum v. Right, so what we can do is sum, right, for v in swap 1 dot v for this v in swap 1 v. Okay, so this is the count of the total need to be swapped, and this need to multiply by min v, but it's 2 times min v times this, then res plus equal to this. Then we'll return res. And I'm going to try this. Did you forget a comma? Yes, I did. Did you mean counter is not defined? Ooh, this is not right. That is very disconcerting. Answer is 20. That was very, very suspicious. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we want to find, let's see, what's swap 1, what's swap 2, and what's min v. Swap 1, swap 2, min v is 3, that's correct. So 0 and 0, if this is smaller than this, that's true. 2 times min v is 6. 6 is smaller or equal to no, so we'll break. No, it's smaller or equal to no, we don't break. So this will rest times will be 8, right? And to swap equal to 2. Well, swap 2 and to swap, and this is larger than no because that's 2 as well. So it's swap to minus equal to this, swap to swap is 0. This one will pop, come back up, this gone, I1 plus equal 1, right? Okay, now we go to this, we shall get out. Oh, swap 1. That shall be I1 or I2 to the end. Shall be I1 for I in range, right? I1 to len swap 1. So that's the remaining things we have not swapped, right? And then for I, so this will be swap 1 I 1. This one, now we pass. All right, well, try this. If it does not work, I think it's time for hint. Try this. Ooh, ha! I think we got lucky on this one. Pure analysis, okay? Pure analysis. And pretty sure this correct answer is not like that. 2561. 24601. All right, so how do we do this? No, we already did this. I am surprised that this method works. So first of all, right? I mean, I could have let me do this. Okay, we're gonna do a def analyze, right? Swap. Okay, so def swap. So we pass swap 1, swap. No, it's not swap 1, swap 2. So it would be the swap small. Swap big. Oh no. Swap small, swap big. Yes. Swap small, swap big. And small index, big index. Okay. Swap small, small index. Swap big, big index. Right? Then we say, and or return Boolean value. So this is gonna be a list of list int. Right? This will be a int. This will be a list int. And this will also be a int. Now here we say this, that will return false. Right, just swap failed, right? Swap failed because using min_v is better, has lower cost. Oh, result. Interesting. Let's do int. Let's return this. Return -1. Okay. And oh, we also have this. Dude. Don't worry, we need to return two things. These we change in place. Okay? So we need to return two things. That's okay. That's okay. So we're gonna return tuple. That's okay. No biggie. No biggie. So return -1. Right. We failed. And this is something we're gonna return. So we save it later. Right. Then we return this and small index +1. Right. And this odd I1 is small index. We do not need big index. Then we can put small index here. Okay. So this is going to be swap small. So this will be swap small. swap small. Okay, so if this is want to swap small, then we cannot swap this anymore. And to swap is equal to this, and this is going to be swap big. All right, then we don't need to do this, we'll just return it. So that's swap. Okay, now while this, if this, okay, then we say additional result and new I1 should be swap, right? Shall be swap. Swap small will be swap 1. Swap big will be swap 2. That be I1. Right? Then we say if new one, doesn't matter, if additional res is smaller than 0, right? Then we break. Otherwise, res plus equal to additional res, and you can say res I1 equal to res plus this and new I1. Then we'll do exactly the same here, right? So we'll do additional res new I2 equals swap 2 swap 1 and I2. Right, again, if additional res is smaller than 0, we'll break. Otherwise, res I2 equals res plus additional res and a new I2. And then we'll jump out and then use swap 1. Tuple, we need a tuple. Okay. Okay, first of all, we can count the occurrences, right? Occurrences of all the numbers in the 2 baskets. If any number has odd number of occurrences, it is not possible to make the 2 baskets identical. That is our cue to return -1. Then we can obtain the number, obtain the value and the number of values to swap, right, from basket 1 and basket 2. Let's call them swap 1 and swap 2, where swap 1i equals value and count. Now, to minimize the cost, we can either swap the smallest value, right, between swap 1 and swap 2 with the biggest on the other side, whose cost will be the smallest value, or we can swap with the smallest of the entirety of basket 1 and basket 2, and the cost will be 2 times the smallest value, because both swap 1 and swap 2 need to use it. Now the question becomes whether it is more, what is cheaper, right? To swap with the smallest value in swap 1 or swap 2, or the smallest, or 2 times, right? 2 times the smallest value in basket 1 and basket 2. If the former is smaller, we use that, right? And use that and update swap 1 and swap 2, right? After all the smallest of swap 1 and swap 2 are consumed. Otherwise, we can stop, because the remaining swaps must all be done via the smallest between basket 1 and basket 2. The logic of a swap is handled by the swap function. Right, by the swap function. So we have on here. I'm going to call it on log n. This is on. Yeah, I think it's on log n. I'll call it on log n. But this question is not over. Actually, I'm going to submit this so we have a copy of the method. It works, yeah. No. No way. Huh. What, did I make a mistake? Oh yeah, I made a mistake. It's not I1. Oh, not small index. Jeez. Just a little mistake, which is okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna lose sleep out of it. Yeah, it's all right. Okay, so I'll go through this tomorrow. Yeah, I'm kind of lazy tonight. Okay, so yeah, surprisingly, I got this, but I'm pretty sure it's not the best idea. I'll take a look tomorrow. I'll see you guys tomorrow.